Aaron and I both share the love of surfing, and so that tends to come up as a theme in our interviews. But my point being here is Aaron gives a perfect example of how to be down to earth and normal and not a diva when, you know, he could easily take on that role. And just for that, you know, I appreciate it, because when I go to interview somebody, nothing's worse than to sit down and they don't want to be there. They don't care who you are. They don't really want to answer your questions. And fortunately, that's not the experience I've ever had with Aaron. He's always been very kind and gracious and, you know, and giving of his time. And, but before I jump into a couple just, you know, really cool stories about him and Matt, I wanted to mention how he got big, or how AWOL Nation got big, so that, you know, people can kind of know this. You know, it's from a previous interview I did. Aaron was in 2 previous bands, neither of which had ever had any major commercial success, and he was getting frustrated. So, you know, I know a lot of people know the story already, but it still bears repeating. To him, AWOL Nation was kind of his last chance to put this all together. He brought his friend Kenny Carkeet in, who's added, you know, the right elements to really make AWOL Nation what it is. But that said, when they put out their first album, Megalithic Symphony, they tested, I want to say it's Not Your Fault, but I'm not sure if that was the song. They tested this song off that album on radio, and it got an okay response. It was a lukewarm response, didn't get what they wanted. And they had a friend in Texas who said, I like that song Sail that you guys have, which is obviously his hugely popular, you know, utterly licensed for movies and video games and other stuff, commercials all over the place. And this guy from Texas liked the song, and he said, I'm going to send it to my friend at the radio station in Austin. Sent it to the friends. They played it, and the phone line lit up requesting the song again. We love that song. We want to hear it. That made them decide to take it to somebody that does, you know, radio servicing, which means that they take it to all the radio stations that fit, or, you know, a lot of them that fit, and they try to position it so it gets into rotation, which is a very hard job in and of itself, and I don't envy those people that do it. It's hard work. But long story short, Sail then got all over the radio, and it then became the song that we all now know it as, you know, very, very popular, and, you know, nearly one of those ubiquitous songs that you can expect to hear it pretty regularly. But that said, you know, that's it just goes to show, like, Aaron was ready to give it up at that point if it didn't work out. And look where he is now. He's doing very well. In fact, AWOL Nation's going on to open for Prophets of Rage on their tour. So,
wow,
good things are going along for them.
Cool.
But a couple of quick funny stories about Aaron and his down to earth factor, which this goes above and beyond. The first time I interviewed him, I had questions that I felt were really good, and I felt really happy about asking him and stuff. And so I came in with a good attitude, and just hoping that he was going to respond with a similarly good attitude. And it was at a festival called the DC 101 Chili Cook-Off. And it's a yearly show. Actually, they haven't done it in a while, but it used to be a yearly show. Big festival, lots of bands. AWOL Nation was there, had the interview, and so we go backstage, and the interview's on his tour bus. And we're walking up to the tour bus, and he just comes up flying out of nowhere around the corner on a skateboard. Like, you know, stops right there, kicks his skateboard up into his hand. He's like, hey, you guys must be the guys that are interviewing me. What's up? You know, come on the bus. Just enthusiastic as all get out, like out of nowhere, just totally cool attitude. And we go on the bus. It was supposed to be a 10-minute interview, and we sat there for 36 minutes. Well, we had 36 minutes of recorded interview, so it was about 40 minutes of just sitting there. And most of it was just, you know, not even the questions I asked. It went all over the place, and it was really, really good stuff. But at the end of the interview, it was my favorite part. He looks at his watch, and he says, you know what? I've got to be at a meet and greet, like, right now, so I've got to go. So we thought we got in the booth for the tour bus, and that's fine, of course. And he goes, you guys are welcome to hang on my bus, drink what you want, eat what you want. Only the whiskey is off limits.
That's so cool.
So yeah, it was really, really cool. And, like, you know, it was a picture moment for us, me and my buddy who was helping me out. And actually, the friend who was helping me out was the same friend I mentioned before that worked with me. That knows he's the influencer in my area. So his name's Kevin, and he's I need to plug his name because he's the one who made these interviews happen with Aaron anyway. So the next one was equally cool, but it was Kevin's thing. So Kevin interviewed him, and I just sent him questions, but we were backstage with Aaron, and Kevin said to him, "Hey, I think I understand that you've never played the song Nights of Shame live." And Nights of Shame recorded, I think, is like 13 or 14 minutes long on the album. And Aaron said, "Yeah, we've been thinking about how to do it, and we think we have it down, but we've never done it before." And Kevin just said to him, "You'd make my night. You'd make me the happiest person on earth if you guys played that song." And they closed the show out with it. And he said before the song, "This is for Kevin." He tossed us into it. Went and played it.
Nice.
Just
cool.
that down-to-earth factor that, you know what, this is a fan who appreciates me, who's taking the time to sit and interview me and stuff like that. That, to me, is the recipe for success today, because you have so many opportunities to, rub elbows with your fans these days, and it's essential that you do. So if you're not embracing them, and if you're not, giving them a little bit of experience when the opportunity arises, I think you're missing out on something. So,
Yeah.
Aaron provides a good example of how to do that, I think, in this day and age.
Yeah, I think it pays to be humble and polite to people, and not be like, "Well, I am this way. You must worship me." 'Cause that's not going to get you anywhere. From my point of view, anyway. That would be anyway.
Well, it's funny too that sometimes you run into these bands, whether they're local or big bands, and it doesn't matter just how far they've gone, they know that they've hit some kind of big time level as far as they're considered, and they're rock stars now, and that's just how their attitude has evolved. And one of the local bands, it's not really a local band anymore, but I mean they're still local to the Cleveland area, is Mushroomhead, another metal band, of course, and you hear different stories about them around here, because they always come back and they play around Pennsylvania, Ohio all the time, in this general northeast Ohio, northwest Pennsylvania area. And sometimes you'll hear, "Oh yeah, they had us come backstage, we hung out, we partied, that was great." And then other times it's like you hear such horror stories, how they didn't get the alcohol that they wanted, or they didn't get this, or they didn't get that, and they're just belligerent and angry, and they expected to be treated like some sort of special, top tier, platinum record sales, worldwide kind of thing. And it's like, you want to still be a fan because they're, the local boy's done good, so to speak, but at the same time you're kind of like, did fame ruin them? Did they give them like Kiss syndrome or something like that?
Yeah,
It's funny. We've got a local musician here who had a fair amount of success in the '90s. And if you ever listen to it, you'll know I'm talking about him. But oh well, I'm not going to reference his name. They had a MTV video, and they had an album that I think that charted, not that high, but it charted. And he hasn't done anything like that since. Not even close to it. And they'll still play some local stuff, like local festivals around here and whatnot. But I won't go down the long story of my first interaction with him. It's just bizarre, and it involves him and a lawyer. Nothing to do with me legally, but him and a lawyer and his old business partner that called me, and it was a bizarre set of circumstances. Is my point of how we first spoke. And then I went out to a show recently, and I met him face to face for the first time. And my wife was with me, and my wife kind of has that meter of, you're an egotistical maniac kind of thing. She can just sense it. And I was just trying to be nice and, and be myself with him and stuff. And I could tell just the look on her face. She was like, he's got that. And within 2 minutes, it's like he turned into this '90s rock star persona. Like, I should have everything, and I can go wreck the dressing room if I want to, and it's just like, dude, I don't mean to come off as rude. I didn't say this. I'm just thinking it, of course, but I don't want to come off as rude, but you're not anybody anymore, you know, and it's like, I don't want to tell anybody that, but you're not making videos for MTV, or you're not, like, blowing anybody up anymore, and you're not blowing your band up anymore. It's like, come on, get over it. Let's all be cool here.
Right. I'm going to have my very first rap artist come on the show in August. And I joke with him on Facebook. He's like, hey, you're the first pop star rapper coming on the show. He goes, really? Like, yeah, okay, now don't get no big heady now. He goes, oh, never, never, never. I'm like, just teasing with you. I know you won't. This kid just graduated from high school too. So they're like, yeah, I definitely want you on it because you're young and you graduated from high school, see your diploma, and I wanted to say yay to you. And he's a great musician too. So yeah, he's great. Okay. So we've been on the air for about 3 hours. Jeff wanted to be gone by about an hour ago, but
yeah, I better hop off. I have to be up early in the morning, unfortunately. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, everyone said, "Oh, we're going to be on for about 35 minutes for 2 hours, about an hour," and they say for 3. It's great. It's the whole.
It's point. A good show. Nobody wants to leave.
Exactly.
I'm enjoying myself. You know, it's fun talking music, and I'll do it. I can do it all day long. It's just. I'm unfortunately on the East Coast, and it's morning time is coming quickly. So
yeah, it is. All right, no worries. So that's the whole point of the show, is having a good time, talk about music, and that's the main subject of the show. I mean, there's times we do get into really deep down conversations, controversial conversations, where sometimes they don't show up till like after they hear it, like, oh, it wasn't that bad after all. And there's times we have a great kickback, like this kind of a show, just learning about the back ends of the show. You know, back in what bands need to go through to get their name out there. So it's basically the whole thing is just kick back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Yeah, and we definitely do.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate coming on here with you guys and talking to you, Shels and Spider. It's been fun. It
was good to have you. It was good stories, good advice also for all of the artists who might be joining us way late in the show right now. Maybe you haven't heard the beginning part, but go back, listen to the recorded version of the podcast, and listen to the advice that Jeff has for you for trying to get your career to the next level. And Jeff, are you currently taking on new clients right now? Should we send anybody your way?
If people would like to open a dialogue with me about that, I can certainly, entertain it. Things are a little bit busy right now, but I'm happy to talk to bands that are hungry, artists that are hungry, and think that I could potentially be a good fit to work with them. So certainly.
All right. So if anybody wants to get in the Rolodex for some possible future work with Jeff from Montauk Music, then give him a holler. Either get with him directly or go through us through the show and everything, and we'll try to get you guys hooked up. Try to get you guys talking.
Yep, and the website is actually inside the chat room, but we'll also have information on the information inside the blog itself. It says info on it. So you go in there, there's his website too, and who he is, what his name is. That way he'll say, hey Jeff, I heard from him, let's talk about the music, and he'll know, oh, you talked to Shels and Spider, right on. So anyway, it's all the information is right there who we're talking to. So
good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So thanks again, Jeff, for coming on the show, and I will definitely emailing you because you gave me some tips too for the show.
Excellent. I'll be looking forward to it. Thanks again.
You're welcome. All right, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good night, guys. Bye-bye.
Good night.
All right, guys, and we'll be right back with more because I know we gotta go do today of music and